So, Dennis, we're in the Reedy Museum.
Yes, back in the museum.
Okay, why don't you give us a tour?
Well, don't know hardly where to start, but my two favorite things that I always did love to collect were, of course, coal mining related items and also railroad. I always loved the railroad. If I could have done in life what I wanted to do, would have been to work for the railroad, but ended up teaching school for 30 years, so didn't make it. But anyway, we do have several railroad items in here. And before I forget, this is probably my favorite one. Let me share this with you.
Okay.
This wrench came
Wow.
from the old 97.
My goodness. So
Hopefully
what is
that-
the old 97?
Well, I was going to say, hopefully there'll be a few people out there that still have heard that song and know a little bit about that. But that was a wreck. I believe it was on the Southern Railway at Danville, Virginia in 1903. Because it was kind of a mail or express train, I think, that derailed, and some few were killed in it. But anyway, the engineer on that train, who he was killed as well, was from Saltville, and he was by the last name of Brody.
Mm-hmm.
And here we have the day of the wreck, 1903, 097. And now the story on the wrench and what makes me think beyond a shadow of a doubt that it's authentic. A fellow by the name of Elwood Bossell had a little antique shop in an old house at Lebanon, Virginia in Russell County. I think best I remember, Mr. Bossell operated the Lebanon News, the paper there. We were in the antique shop years ago, probably I'm going to say early 70s, and he showed me this wrench and told me the story of the wrench, which that he obtained it through, I believe it was an aunt of Brody, who lived around the Lebanon area. And she ended up with a bunch of Brody's tools, after this occurred. And he had wrote on it with chalk, just as you see here. And of course, at that time, it was not for sale. It was just there on display. And I thought, boy, what about that? Well, now to end that story up here, Mr. Bossell died. The little house was almost falling in, and they had an auction. Well, me and my dad went to the auction in hopes that this might still be there. We had no thought that it would, but still yet, there's that slim chance. The house was in such bad shape they would not even let people in. They would bring items out on the porch, and hold them up and sell them. And of course, people were just all gathering around in the yard. And after a while, here comes a guy out the door with this wrench in one hand and an old ancient mop in the other. And what'll be the bid? And we got this for a little of nothing, because I'm sure we were the only ones that knew the story of the wrench.
That knew what it was.
And the chalk writing was still legible. I did trace over it, to keep it there and preserve it. And another thing that makes me not doubt that story, there was another antique dealer in Lebanon by the name of Claude Boardwine that I also thought a lot of, bought several items off of over the year. He had a collection of smaller wrenches, and he told me the same identical story that Mr. Bossell told about the aunt that come in possession of the tools, and after she passed away, well, no, I think they actually got them from her as she, got way up in years and decided to maybe to part with them. And lo and behold, I also have that smaller bundle of tools that I got from Claude Boardwine, who again told me the exact same story, almost verbatim, that Mr. Bossell did.
So what is this train you're talking about that it came from, that derailed?
Well, the old 97, of course, it was made famous in song. Of course, there's been books and lots of things written about it. But I'm going to say the song, and still today, you'll hear the old time country.
Do you remember it? Can you sing a little bit of it?
Well, I can't sing. I couldn't carry a tune to break the lid on.
All right. We'll
But
try
yeah,
to find a copy
yeah,
of the lyrics
let's
somewhere.
see. I could, if I wasn't on here, I could remember the whole thing. But it was something like, they gave him his orders in Monroe, Virginia. Yes, and Steve, you're way behind time. This is not 38, but it's old 97. Got to put her into Spencer on time. He was going down the grade, making 90 miles an hour, when his whistle broke into a scream. He was found in the wreck with his hand on the throttle and was scalded to death by the steam.
You can sing. You can sing. You're good.
And there's about 4 or 5 more verses to
Wow,
it that
excellent.
tell the whole story, you know.
Well, I'm impressed, Dennis. I didn't know you could sing.